of HardFoul Radio. This is the show that values time and puts God first. Welcome back. We are live again. Welcome on a wonderful Tuesday morning. Let's get into it. So, one of the things we always have a hard time doing as sports fans is adapting, right? Like, when things change and the NFL is always making changes and the NBA is always making changes, and in baseball, while much slower, they've also making much changes over the last couple of years. We have trouble adjusting and really understanding when things change. There's an old rule that 0-2, you've all heard the number a million times. You start 0-2, 12% chance to make the playoffs. Here's the problem with the stat. Most teams that go 0-2, not very good. So that's automatically going to drag the stat down. If you go 0-2, you're not very good. No one is going to tell you that the Cleveland Browns being 0-2, or no one should, is the same as much as I'd love to throw dirt on their name, as much as I'd love to join the hate fest, and trust me, I would, it's not the same as the Chiefs going 0-2. If you have Patrick Mahomes, if you have a talented roster, like even if you're somebody a team like the Bears, who I predicted to make the playoffs before the season started, who, yes, you could say they've underperformed in their first two games, but their 0-2 is not like Cleveland. So we need to adjust. We need new information. The world has changed. There's 17 games, and the reality with those 17 games is the rules have changed. Last year, 3 teams started 0-2 and made the playoffs. Ironically, 2 of the 3 are represented here at HardFoul. Tony's Ravens started 0-2, still went on to make the playoffs. Denver started 0-2, and we're going to get to them later in the show, and they went on to make the playoffs. So 0-2 is not some, oh my gosh, you can't recover, it's impossible. The reality is, unless something catastrophically changes, we know who the good teams are. We know who the bad teams are. We're going to do power rankings today. Tony normally joins us on Tuesday. He's not able to today. We know who, and that'll be reflected in the power rankings. We know who's good, right? Objectively, we know who's good. And while fans are always going to panic and fans are always going to freak out because that's what fans do, it's short for fanatic. They're going to go, oh my gosh, this team's 0-2, they must be bad. Even the teams that are 1-1, trust me, Bronco fans are panicking, and I think it's insane. Bad for a decade. They were 0-2 last year, still made the playoffs. 1-1, you could objectively say have not played well, but they're 1-1. Trust me. But fans are going to panic. That's what they do. Last night, another team, the Houston Texans, also went 0-2. I'm not concerned about an 0-2 Houston Texans team in that division where I do not believe in the Colts, despite what Daniel Jones has done the first 2 games of the season. I do not believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 1-1. Like, that's a still very winnable division for the Houston Texans, even though they're 0-2. Now, with that being said, does that mean that your third game of the season becomes a must-win? 1,000%. You can't go 0-3, 0-4, continuing down the road. That you can't put yourself in that position, because eventually you will just run out of games. You will run out of time. But 0-2, which has been this basically death sentence my entire life as far as making the playoffs, how good you could be, what your season can turn into, that's just not it's not valid logic anymore. And so am I worried about the Texans at 0-2? No. If you're worried about the Bears at 0-2, if you did not think the Bears were good enough to be a playoff team heading into the season, then you're justified right now. They're 0-2, they're not playing great. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, there's still some stuff there. Fine. But if you thought, like me, the Bears could be a playoff team before the season started, 0-2 should not scare you that much. Do you want to be 0-2? No. But again, 0-3, 1-3, this is why I'm being fair, Chiefs fans. I'm not coming here and burying you, even though I'd love to. I'd love to say that they're 0-2 because Travis Kelce is clearly out of his prime. Chris Jones, while still really good, is not the dominant, maybe best defensive tackle in the game that he used to be. Mahomes himself is, while you're still seeing some of these spectacular plays being made, he does not look like the guy he was a couple years ago. The receiving core, like, I'd love to do all that. But I reserve all my Chiefs hate for next week if they go 0-3, or week 4 if they go 1-3 after losing to the Ravens, which I may or may not have. But 0-2 is just no longer again, it's not the nail in the coffin that it was pretty much my entire life. And we need to understand that. Nor is, if you're somebody who's 2-0, but you truly don't believe in them, you should have the conviction that 1 to 2 games, do not be the crazy fan. Have the conviction that you still don't think they're that good. I think the Indianapolis Colts are 2-0. If I had to pick one team, just one team that was going to do the exact same thing that the New Orleans Saints did last year, I would pick the Indianapolis Colts. Remember, the Saints last year, 2-0, scoring all these points. They blow out the Cowboys. Oh my gosh, look at Derek Carr. By the end of the year, the Saints were a tire fire. Derek Carr retired, and now the Saints are possibly, by most people's consensus, the worst team in the league, or in contention for the worst team in the league, and they're looking forward to having the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So 2-0 is not all it's hyped up to be. 0-2, again, is not this sentence that it has been pretty much the entirety of my life. So we have new information. The world has changed. It's different. We got to understand that. Now to a 2-0 team that does deserve some credit. And this is a team that, while I've had them as a playoff team and they are obviously very good, I think we are actually seeing the next level being taken, and I might horribly regret this. We might have to remove the if man title. If this is who Justin Herbert is now I don't rescind or take back anything that has been said up to this point in his NFL career, but if this is who Justin Herbert is now, a guy who is able, you see in the Chiefs game, take over late in the fourth quarter, a guy who we've always known he's been a talented passer, but a guy who has a true command of the offense, a guy who is elite on when you have to be, which is red zone, third down, all the things that Justin Herbert got one of the biggest boosts you could have to start your career. There has been a Mahomes boost that's been absolutely in effect the last decade. That is, if you play well against the Chiefs or you beat the Chiefs, we think higher of you because that's been the dynasty. And no one has probably gotten more from that. It's Herbert and Burrow have gotten the most. And Herbert started his career against the Chiefs. And the fashion in which he did, because he wasn't supposed to start, he gets thrown in or get told he's starting about 20 minutes before the game, and he plays really well. Justin Herbert's been a quarterback since the day he stepped onto the football field. The problem is we didn't see progression. And he's got these horrible playoff losses. So we saw the talent. We knew he was good, but there was just always something there. Even last year, it was Jim Harbaugh, and he's not throwing interceptions. It's like, oh, this is finally going to be their year. And he gets to the playoffs, and it's a multiple interception playoff game, and the Chargers season ends the same way that it feels like it's always ended, the Chargers doing something that only they could do. But I'm watching that game last night, and Geno Smith, you know your quarterback is in a different level when the other guy doesn't look like he belongs on the same field. And last night, Geno Smith, who's a good quarterback, you could tell did not belong on the same field as Justin Herbert. And trust me when I say this, I hate to give anybody from the division credit. I don't like giving the Chiefs credit. I don't like giving the Chargers credit. I don't like giving the Raiders credit. So when I say this, understand, Herbert finally looking like he has taken that step where we can remove the if-man stereotype from him. That's huge. And if the Chargers are going to go anywhere, you're going to need that guy. And if this is truly who he is now, shout out, good for them. Now, you're not going to fully remove that because we've had these 2 horrible playoff losses. The game against the Jaguars, we flipped 30 points. Or the game last year against the Texans, we had the multiple interceptions. So we're going to still need to see this throughout the season and in the playoffs. But the way he looks right now, this is the realization of if man. I mean, if you want to be a part of one of the coolest, most unique communities, don't forget to like and subscribe.